Hey, my name is Garvin and I'm a software engineer. Today I will be attempting to do some vibe coding with OpenCode. I haven't used this tool much, but I'll try to create something that I have kind of already done and I wanted to see how well it works. I I'm not sure how far this will go, but we'll see. At first, I wanted to try an on-device model, GPT OSS. I think there's something I'm missing there in terms of tool calling. The model seems to be running fast enough on my 64 gig Mac, but there seems to be some other issues that I need to figure out. So eventually, I'll do one of these with all on device uh, model and everything like that. For now, I'll use one of the free models that OpenCode allows you to use. And at some point, I'll also do Claude, Gemini, and whatever else makes sense with their models that they come with. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. Okay. Um, let's get started. So the first thing I'll do, um, I'll open OpenCode. Actually, before I do that, I should create a folder. So I'm going to be doing this from scratch. So let's call this Roku Remote. Okay. So just for context, I did a search. So this is kind of what it's supposed to look like. This is an actual, this one on the right here is an actual remote, and this is what the app looks like on a phone. And so I'm trying to replicate what's on the right with all the functionality. It's pretty straightforward. Basically, if you have a Roku TV, it allows you to stream different channels like Amazon Prime, YouTube, stuff like that. And so there is this concept of device discovery where when you open the app, it finds all Roku devices on your network. And so this should work, and we'll see. I realize that some of the models have trouble finding what the right APIs to use are, or to figure out also the configuration, the settings, the permissions that I needed. And so I have this app here that I did. I won't say which model I use, but you can see here that this actually works. It is connected to my Roku. I can press buttons and all that stuff. I should probably have a camera on the TV so you can see, but I promise you that this is actually working. Um, Maybe I should have this do some logs or something, but I don't know the command on top of my head to see logs. But anyway, I want to try to replicate this using basically all free stuff, and let's see how far we get. Okay, so I'm in Roku Remote, and I'll open. What is this thing called? OpenCode? No, OpenCode. Okay. Let's see. Create an iOS Roku Remote application. We will be using. So this is interesting because you really have to use some specific commands or instructions for this. Otherwise, it will just spit out some code. So maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe someone will tell me. But I found that this is being more specific like this is basically how you save some time. So create iOS Roku Remote application. We'll be using only CLIs to build, deploy, and test the application on the iOS simulator. Create iOS UI tests to verify functionality such as oh, this is the wrong model. I think this is the wrong model. Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna have to change this. I'm gonna have to change this model because I don't think this one will work as well. But we'll see. Something interesting about these TUIs, it's not that easy to mess with text, I find. I guess you can see I have a bunch of models here, some local and some not. So I'll use this model, this big pickle OpenCode, and there's high and max. Let's try max to see how this works. Okay. Oops. Does this work? Oh, awesome. All right, so let's see if this thing can build for us a Roku application with minimal prompting, ideally. So some of the challenges I find with the iOS apps and the models is just number one, creating the project. And I've been through this before. So number one, creating the project, an actual project similar to what the Xcode would create using its template. And actually figuring out the CLI commands to use to deploy, and also once we have the app working and deployed to the simulator, how to test / validate that everything works, which seems to be tricky. I think this would be extremely tricky for someone who has no idea how an app works and doesn't know how to sort of point the model in the right direction. And so I haven't touched iOS / mobile development in a long time, so I'm not sure what has changed, what's the same, what tooling. The thing is though, I've never really used the CLIs to do this stuff. It's basically you open the app, you open Xcode and you start writing code, or before we had Swift UI, you had basically a graphical user interface that you build and then basically some callbacks that you attach to your UI. Now with Swift UI, it's all code and you can actually use CLIs and get all of this stuff done without opening Xcode. That being said, I haven't done much of that, so let's see how far this model and this tool can get me, again with minimal prompting. It's using what this tool called Xcode Gen. I don't know what that is. Probably good to look that up. Let's see. What is Xcode Gen? I should probably be using let's do this. Okay. Command line tool that okay. Alright. creating, maintaining, which helps. Okay, I see. Okay. Okay, that's a nice tool. Good to know. So I think when I tried to use the GPT OSS model, um, aside from the tool calling, it couldn't figure out that it needed to do this to be able to just generate the project, just to even get started. So maybe there's something I'm doing wrong. I'll definitely try again and figure it out. Um, we'll see how it goes. So this thing is chugging along. Uh, the first milestone really is just to have a Roku remote, something that looks somewhat similar to this, with these buttons, the D-pad, and something for selecting devices and running on the emulator. So that's the first challenge. I think this model should be able to give us this. I actually don't know what the limits of this model are. I have no idea what. I did do a search really quick. This Zen, OpenCode Zen, it says they're free models and they seem to be working very well, to be honest. So I don't know. I can't imagine you can just use them indefinitely. So, but trying out, it's a free tool. We'll also use Claude, Gemini, Copilot, etc. And see how well it's two things. It's the tooling and the models, and I'll try to switch it up as much as possible. This is also a learning experience for me, just to figure out, just a chance to compare all of these different tools and figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and basically, if you have a goal, a project idea in mind, how do you get these tools to take you to where you want to go, basically. And I hope this stream quality is set up properly. I hope the audio is good. Still trying to figure out how to configure OBS to stream and to record videos. So if there's something that I'm missing, if you're an expert in this stuff, please let me know. Okay? I definitely see something is happening. The app is being built, looks like. Let's see if this thing will actually give us a working app. For me, one-shotting, if it would be amazing if you could one-shot this and just say, hey, with the prompt that I gave, go get some context online and all of that, figure out how discovery works, and then figure out the CLIs and everything, and then boom, it opens up in the simulator, and then it just works. I press the button and it discovers my Roku LE saying hello. So that would be awesome. So yeah. So let's see what happens here. I think it's trying to run the app, or it's running tests. Okay, it's running tests, which is cool. I've found that a very good way to have LLMs check their own work is just by asking them to run tests. So it's a good way to just keep going. Otherwise, they might say, "Hey, um, the thing that you asked for, it's done. Here's how you try it out." But if you say, "Hey, create a test," the test fails, it will continue debugging, try to figure out what's going on, and potentially resolve it. So just having tests or instructing it to write tests takes you a lot further. The tricky part is having things set up for it to get feedback. And so in the case of iOS, you should be able to access the logs from the simulator. Yeah, you should be able to access the logs from the simulator. This doesn't look like it's doing anything. Please run the tests and fix any issues. Yeah. So this just looked like it just kind of stopped. So it's telling me I should run these commands. Says project is complete. Really, there has to be a better way to say, hey, I guess for me to say, the project isn't complete until you have a full suite of tests and they're all passing and they verify all functionality. But I guess maybe that requires me to have more detail for the remote app, as an example, saying, hey, a button that does this, a button that does that, a button for discovery. Maybe that's some of the detail that I need. I don't know. And I think every model and set of tools may be different in that regard, in terms of just how it was trained and the interaction. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I can see here. Let's see. This thing can't move. Oh, great. Really? Oh, there it is. Okay. I can close this. All right. So nice little interface here in OpenCode, just showing you a little bit of what's going on, tokens. Oh, I see here. So this is a limit here. Okay. There seems to be some sort of limit, because it's saying I've used 45% of my tokens, I imagine. So I guess if we're at 100 and we haven't found or finished our app, then maybe it resets. I don't know. I don't remember logging in or anything like that, so I don't know what's being used to identify me as a user. I guess maybe my IP address or something. Yeah, so I guess we'll find out. But I have half my tokens left, so we'll see if we can actually build something that works with what we have remaining. So, okay. Let's see. Let me read some of these messages. So this this UI just is very interesting, because you basically have to sort of read through and catch important messages as they scroll through. And I don't know what's best. Some models or some configurations just stop at everything, and it's annoying, and you keep having to say continue, 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 or do the next step. And some are doing stuff, and in other cases, well, it says all tests pass. Interesting. Um, it's doing stuff, and then okay, huh? So, are you doing live discovery or a mock discovery? I need to ensure discovery works. First, however, please run the app. All right, so let's see what app it created. Okay, what's going on here? Okay. All right, so it's running the app. No devices found. Let's see. So previously, when I did this, it actually used a completely different UI where it where it had all of the remote control buttons. This one just basically starts off with the discovery. And the interesting thing here now is it's using screenshots for debugging, which I would like to think if you just did UI tests, that would be a lot easier. Also, UI tests in addition to checking the logs, so debug logs, whatever. But for some reason, this is what it chose to do. Let's see. If not, it will show them to add. Okay. All right, let's see. I have Roku devices on the network. Figure out why we can't find any with our app. Perhaps we should look online for some clues. So I don't know what actually happened with the tests. I would have liked for it to create a test and run the test that does the discovery. It is kind of tricky because the discovery is async. So I guess sort of. So it may be a little tricky to run in a test, but combination of test plus logging, and maybe someone who's a lot more familiar with iOS, like hardcore iOS development, can tell me what's a good way to instruct this thing to go find issues. Let's see. So I do know for a fact that this is probably there is a framework that does work, and I found that the models, when they start off, they don't know about it. So asking to use, just search online to see if it finds an answer to the question of, hey, how do I get this working? Could potentially be all. It is interesting that if it finds itself not being able to complete, okay, no, this is a test. If it finds itself not being able to complete the task, why not just why not just search? Right? Go check Stack Overflow or something, or Reddit, which is funny. Um, yeah, so it's resorted to taking screenshots. Um, so let's try this. Search online for the right networking stack. Let's see. And also ensure we are configuring the app with the correct permissions. This would be very tough for someone who doesn't know about all of this stuff, because they just wouldn't know what to, they wouldn't know what to say. So yeah, vibe code. We get things done quickly that may have taken us forever, but you still kind of need to know, as you see here, like I, I got an app started, but I still need to add some very specific context for it to work, for it to get to where I need to go. So what's my token usage right now? 56%. Okay. All right. So yeah, at the rate we're going, I don't think we're going to, I don't think we'll figure it out. I think the next time I do this, I'll probably try it out with Gemini, and just to go through and see if I can get to the end where I have a functioning app, discovery works, and all the buttons work, and that sort of thing. So it has to figure out the permissions. It has to figure out the right APIs to use. It has to figure out how to do debugging. So stuff like that. And I don't know how much of this is, hey, I just don't have enough exposure to iOS to be able to complete tasks like this. Maybe that's the problem. And maybe if it was just like a simple Go application to do something, it would just get it done. The thing is, though, there's lots of good docs online for iOS applications. So if you can't figure something out, you should be able to search for it. This tool is configured for tool calling, to do online searches, and this is a very specific thing that we're trying to do. iOS app, doing device discovery, Roku, keywords like that, networking. We should be able to find something relatively quickly with an online search. I have been talking a lot, so I don't know if it actually did one, other than when I said, "Hey, can you search, find something?" So I think I know what stack it's supposed to be using, but now I'm already at 67%. And it's not going very well. So, XD coder is not found. This is strange because it should be part of foundation. Okay. Yeah. So this seems to be more of a model plus iOS issue than anything else. I would say if I had to guess, um, this is supposed to be a model that's set up for coding. Um, so I don't know. I'll try different ones and see how well they work. Okay, it's trying again. Well, oh, there it is. Wow, it found it. That is awesome. It found it. So the one in the bottom is my Roku. Yeah, that's nice. That's amazing. So we're at 60+%, and it was able to build, create the app, do the discovery, figure out the permissions, the networking, and all of that stuff. Um, yes. So okay, let's see. So the discovery should only show discovered devices and not samples. I don't know the right word to use here. Also, yeah, run the app again. So I did find it, which is cool. I would say that my interaction was fairly minimal. Okay. So here's the device. The button to actually go to the device does not work. I suspect maybe it's not set up. What is this? Oh, okay, sure. Once it took a screenshot, he wants to look at. There has to be a better way to do this than taking a screenshot. Yeah. Add the mux, deploy to a real device. Add another. Okay. Okay. So the button to. Okay, there's only one device on the network, but I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the list. Show only discovered devices. Yes, so let's get it to show only discovered devices, and then we'll get to the actual remote part and see if the buttons are working. Let's see. I hope it didn't just scan. That would be terrible if it actually scanned instead of doing the multicast. I wouldn't be surprised if it just sneakily tried to do that. But let's see. Nope, I'm still seeing a bunch of tests. Why is it? I just want to remove all the test records from the list. So it is somehow finding the device. I don't know what it used. I suspect it's not using I suspect it's not using the stack that I think it should be using. I also don't know why it's using screenshots. There has to be a better way to do this. Okay. Let me think for a second. All right, you know what? Let's just leave this. The button to select the device does not work. I should probably be more clear here. I should ask, did you create the screen with all the buttons for the remote once the device is found and selected? So we were at 60%. Somehow it was able to find, I believe, find the device. It has a list of test devices. I've asked multiple times to remove them. I'm not sure where they're coming from. So I'll just let that be for now and see if I can select the specific device that I want. Okay. All right, so okay, it works. Yeah, it works. I can select the device. I press the home button. Let's see if okay, yeah. These buttons do work. I should have had a camera on the TV so you can actually see that the buttons are working. But yeah, so I think I'll stop here. I was able to get a device working, a remote working. There are a few kinks that I guess if I kept prompting, I could have gotten it to clean up the test devices. I'm not sure where these are coming from, if it's a database or something that needs to be cleaned up. But the actual remote, the functionality does work. We can definitely clean up some of this UI. We can have the model make this a little more polished. So we could try that. But for now, I'll just end here, and maybe next time I'll continue trying to get this to clean up, or I'll just start with Gemini. So we shall see. Till the next one. Thanks for watching.